Right behind me here is the Long Man of Wilmington, as you can see on the hillside up there, and just below that is a crop circle that bears 2 feet. Now, as we're walking up to this crop circle, the 2 feet, it is an absolute beautiful sight. Now, the Long Man itself was actually made around the 16th to 17th century. And since then it has been altered very slightly to kind of preserve its shape and the originality of its structure. And this site location itself is absolutely filled to the brim with ley lines, Bronze Age and Neolithic mounds and burial mounds, and there's a Neolithic flint mine that exists just above it as well. So for earlier settlements, this is quite an interesting place to be around, and it kind of provided a lot for the people that lived here. Now, local folklore suggests that the Long Man himself is actually buried somewhere around here. There's a supposed giant that's supposed to exist here. Now, a crop circle has appeared here before in 2014, which is quite a beautiful shape and size as well. But we're just about to approach the site now, and here we go. Here's the feet in question. Look at these bad boys. Now, just entering the crop circle again, you can kind of see this wonderful whoosh formation that we see quite prevalent in other site locations, as you could say. And there's just one stem just stood up in the middle there. Look at that. Very cool. I mean, this did appear during the week, probably about 4 days ago, 5 days ago maybe. And it's just a very unique site and a unique design compared to all of the more abstract things that we have seen previously. So as most of you probably know already, the area is a massive chalk and quartz deposit. So you get a lot of chalk rocks, you get a lot of flint rocks and other things of that nature. And this kind of coincides with a lot of the areas that seem to have more of the anomalous crop circles. Now, being in here off the bat, it's very cool and surreal, and the place is a very, very ancient place as well. So it does have that kind of funky juju vibe about it, but we're gonna have to explore a little bit more and see what else pops up. Now, upon first entry and being sat inside this site location, it is pretty damn cool, man. I mean, this is a Neolithic Bronze Age sort of settlement area. The history here is so rich and intense, and it's just a beautiful scenery as well. And it kind of gives me the same sort of vibes as Sutton Vinny. Now, walking down here, I did notice there's almost another crop circle that not many people have talked about, which is over there. And it looks like something's landed, or like a splat or some sort of vehicle. I'm not sure, but we're gonna go down there in a little bit and I'll try and give you some aerial shots of what I'm talking about. It is pretty damn interesting. Now let's observe the outer edge like we always do. And it does seem to me that these stems that we're seeing here, if you guys can see a little bit closer, they are bent, almost like they've been forced again, which coincides with a lot of human-made crop circles here. Now this is a mature crop as well, so this is probably almost ready to be harvested. So we're right at the end of the season here. So on the more early crop formations that we see, you can then kind of notice that the nodes swell more because there's still water and stuff running up the stems. But with this one, they're all kind of like pretty damn dry, to say the least. But yeah, it seems like it is pushed over. There's no sort of weaving. It is a whoosh formation, but the more interesting one actually that I'm more interested about is that circle down the base there. Now we're in the other foot that is off the trail that you can't quite get into, but you have to try and kind of creep in there very specifically. Now, this one's a little bit different. You've got more so stems sticking up, mate. Like they've kind of returned a little bit. Although, like I said, this is a very mature crop. It's hitting the peak where it's going to probably be harvest soon. So the water in the stems are not so apparent to the earlier crops as well. So you can't really see much to do with swollen nodes, things of that nature. Maybe nodes being blown out that you'd see in more of the anomalous ones. So it's just pretty straightforward on this one, and it kind of mimics the human-made crop circles that we've seen previously versus the weird ones that we have seen. So Very cool, mate. Look at that. And it's got the same sort of whoosh formation that we kind of saw in the other foot across, where it kind of follows the same suit on the outside and then comes back and starts round again. Wild. Right, we're at this second crop circle location that has only just appeared within, I say, a couple of days, because most people have been focused on the feet on the hill there, above where the long man is, right? Now this is completely different. I observed this from above and it looks like some sort of map or star map, right? And it doesn't have the same characteristics that you would see in the feet or the other versions, right? Again, something straight off the bat which is very peculiar, right? We have the grains standing up in the middle there perfectly. And it almost looks like something's just landed and patted down on the ground. Just pushed. And here, look, these aren't fully patted down. They're not completely squished like you see with boards. It's like a gentle kind of press here. Look at that. And there's all these different appendages that kind of just poke out here, right? And there's like a random hole there. There's another random hole there, right? That appears. And there's a random hole further out there that just appeared. It's almost like a big something that's just landed and pressed, like feet almost. These look like feet, mate, right? Now, there's no, if you're looking over there, there's no way, it doesn't look like there's anyone that's kind of crept in or walked through or pushed into there. No one's been in here, right? This is mad. Look at this. Right, I'm gonna do some readings for you now, right? Compared to the foot up there, there wasn't any sort of readings that I could see of note. Now here, watch this. Again, areas in the red, RF, magnetic alert, electric alert as well. Pretty damn high.
The whole site.
And the RF is pinging as well, look, 7.8. And even when I've got the gimbal away, I'm moving the stuff away,
it's all over.
The same. And it stops about here. And there's the centre section there, so that's pretty damn far.
Now, using a multimeter for the centre of the crop circle itself versus the outside edge, there is quite a stark difference there. I mean, the outside was kind of even, like it didn't really fluctuate too much versus the inside section. So, to be honest, I'm not quite sure what that is. It could just be coincidence, it could be something more, but as you can see, it's kind of up, down, left, right, and centre. So yeah, make of that what you will.
Right, so observing this from above, it is actually quite profound, right? So we have a foot over there, some sort of foot over there, another one there, another one there, out there, another one there, there, and another one there, right? So it kind of, I don't know, it kind of looks like something's just gone down. Whether this is a, I don't know, possibly a landing site, you know, if you want to say, or this is some sort of map. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to kind of think and figure out. But out of all the site locations I've been to, this one kind of matches Sutton Veny. Like, being inside, I feel a little bit funky. My head feels a little bit scrambled. I can't kind of think properly. Just formulate sentences, basically. I mean, I'm a little bit outside of it now, but nothing up in the feet there, right? Down here, completely different story. This is something just I can't really explain. Again, it's the formation. It's the way it's laid out. It's not completely flattened and pushed down. It's kind of just like almost something's rested and then things are starting to rise up again. And there's no sort of areas that you could see where someone's walked out to these further locations and squished them down, you know? And the grains in the middle that are just stood up. Again, much like Sutton Veny and the Merkabah one that we went to, where these grains are just left standing. Again, this is a kind of mature crop as well. There's a spider there, big up. But this is a mature crop, much like the Sutton Veny one that was quite early on. You can't really judge the nodes in question here. So because if you're looking at the nodes, it's very dry. So there's no sort of water retention inside the stem. So this, again, this crop is basically ready to be harvested, probably literally in the next week or so. So there's nothing really here to kind of read the explosion of the nodes or kind of see the dryness there, because there's nothing to kind of signify anything of that nature, again, because how dry it is. Right, we have 3 separate crop circles, okay? So we've got this one here, which kind of looks like some sort of landing formation. We've got the feet midway up to the hill. Now we have the petroglyph of the Long Man itself, okay? So the history in this area is actually quite profound. Now there's ley lines that basically run parallel with where we are, from this crop circle to the feet, up to the hill, and now right at the tippy top that you see up there, there is burial mounds, there's Neolithic flint mines up there as well, there's Bronze Age settlements as well that exist on the hill. So all of this lining up to the site location is quite interesting, to say the least. Now there was a crop circle that did appear here in 2014, which was quite geometric, but in Sussex, where we are right now, the Long Man of Wilmington, Eastbourne, it's quite rare to see anything this way. So when something does appear, it's very, very interesting. Now the original reports of this crop circle must have been about 4 to 5 days ago when these feet were reported at the base here. Now this one, I don't think was reported instantly with what that was. So I feel this may have come after this one was seen, which is very weird. Now, the Long Man has been around since the 16th to 17th century, and originally it was laid with yellow bricks in the Victorian times. Then it was kind of put with concrete as well, so it has been kind of preserved and changed over time. Now, the feet, which is another interesting factor of it, you could say that maybe the 2 feet represent one in the spirit realm, one in the physical realm, or grounding or something of that nature, or it could be something to kind of celebrate and remember the original Long Man himself, because his feet actually ain't pointed down originally, and then over time, since it's been changed, I think they were kind of more so pushed off to the side and changed, as you can see here. But whether this is the kind of the original formation of how the Long Man should have looked with the feet below it, I'm not sure. Or maybe it's kind of a link to him kind of waking up, if you will, because in old folklore and old legends, it said the Long Man himself, the giant, is actually buried around these sites somewhere, but nobody knows exactly where it is. But many myths kind of allude to this sort of thing in the area. So whether he's buried at the top, down to the side, maybe his spirit's returned, we don't actually know, mate. But again, the site in question is chalk and quartz geology. If you're looking at the more anomalous sites in question that you would think the weirder ones appear. Now, in the middle feet up there wasn't many readings that we got. It was quite stagnant, you know, seemed like your usual, what you would see in like human-made crop circles. Now, this one here, we had EMF readings, RF readings, magnetic frequency readings. The thing was pinging, as you can see here, was on a live stream and it was going nuts and everyone was seeing it. And it was quite a large area up on top of there. Like, it went probably about halfway to the feet up on the hill there when it stopped pinging. So it's a little bit weird, man. And we didn't get anything up there, also towards the Long Man. So whether this is something else and different and quite significant, I'm not sure, mate. But all I can say is, standing in this one, I kind of felt weird. I can't formulate my sentences properly. I had to step outside for a minute, but it seems quite, I don't know, it kind of like fizzled my brain. So I don't know, it reminds me of the Sutton Veny crop circle and the Merkabah one, with the same sort of effects there. Very weird. Now, on a radiation level, unfortunately the OLED screen, I'm yet to get a better Geiger counter. Now, the average that you kind of look for in these areas is like a 0.7 to a 0.12 that we usually see to the outside edge versus the inside. Didn't spike in the feet at all, up on the hill, didn't spike up there. But in here, it started spiking towards a 0.20, 0.30, and even 0.32 at times, which is very, very strange. Kind of like Sutton Veny, or Vinny, however you want to pronounce it. But either or, this place is wonderful. And it really does remind me of the Sutton Veny one, with the hills on the side and the significance in the middle here. So I don't know, mate, absolutely amazing. I'd say to people, you want to come check this one out. This is very interesting, and maybe come sit and ponder in this sort of central section here. Now, I'm going to try and map out the shape and the size of maybe what this kind of EMF reading was kind of reading, so we can maybe get a shape of what, if this was something weird, maybe landed here, we can map it out. I don't know, mate, but there you go. You know, Long Man of Wilmington, crop circle galore, 1, 2, 3, lined up with the settlements as well, and a bit of history. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Come visit this crop circle if you can, because I think this one is interesting, to say the least, mate. Wow.